And we should be live. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Google core update or the core algorithm. There was two that have just been released. It has been titled the March 2024 core update, and they have also released a spam update as well. So it's kind of been two in one. What I'm going to be doing is, first of all, I want to go over some of the actual documentation. We're going to be taking this with a little bit of a pinch of salt because not everything has been rolled out just yet. The update actually got announced last night. So just bear that in mind when we are looking at some of the websites, when we are reading some of the documentation. It's not been fully rolled out yet. I'm also going to be giving my 2 cents on it as well. And if you guys do have any questions, this is obviously a live stream, so feel free to just drop them down in the actual comment section, and I will read some of your questions as well. Obviously, if you guys are watching this, it will be pre-recorded, but as of right now, this is live. So March 2024, 5th of March, they released a new spam policies. The spam policies is going after expired domains. So as we can see here, expired domain use is when an expired domain is purchased and repurposed primarily to manipulate search rankings by hosting content that provides little to no value for users. So what a lot of people used to do is they would essentially find an expired domain, they would build out a website, they would run ads, and it was essentially kind of like a burn and churn method. Now, me reading this as an SEO and as also a business owner, one thing that I will mention is that websites or businesses naturally go bankrupt, right? So let's say, for example, I'm in the UK. Let's say boots.com, I think it is, or boots.co.uk, they go bankrupt and I am one of their competitors. And I decide to, instead of them essentially giving up their domain, I come in and I purchase their domain, and I purchase their business, I purchase their debt as well, and I repurpose that domain for my own website. Let's say I'm, for example, Superdrug. So for anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, Boots is a massive online beauty merchant. A lot of like women and stuff buy from there, and same with Superdrug as well. Superdrug again as well is a massive online merchant, or they do have shops as well, but they are competitors of one another, right? Let's say, for example, Boots.com went bankrupt and Superdrug.com purchased their domain, because sometimes when companies go bankrupt, it's natural for the liquidators to essentially put up any assets that they have for sale. So very, very natural. In that case, then you can still use 301 redirects and 301 or expired domains. So just bear that in mind, because a lot of people now are under the impression of, expired domains don't work anymore. If you do it correctly, and if it's a legitimate way of essentially acquiring an expired domain, then it definitely would work. So that's one thing that I want to make certain that people understand about this section. Moving forward, expired domain abuse isn't something people accidentally do. It's a practice employed by people who hope to rank well in search with low value content and using past reputation of a domain. These domains are generally not intended for visitors to find them in any other way through search engines. It's fine to use an old domain for a new original site that's designed to serve people first. So again, it's fine to use an old domain for a new original site that's designed to serve people first. So they're not against expired domain. However, if you are just buying expired domains and 301ing it to your website and smashing it with a load of 301s, which a lot of guys in the porn industry, a lot of guys in the gambling industry, they do use this method. So I can completely understand why Google has added this filter in place. So that's the expired domain section. I feel like I have covered that. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. So, scaled content abuse. Now, they do have a scaled content abuse section, but if we actually go back to the section that we were looking at, so scaled content abuse is when many pages are generated for the primary purpose of manipulating search rankings and not helping users. This abusive practice is typically focused on creating large amounts of unoriginal content that provides little to no value to the users, no matter how it's created. So, a couple things on this. Unoriginal content. So, if you are scraping websites or if you're using aggregator websites, there's a lot of aggregator websites that have been de-indexed, and I will show some of these as well further in the video. But basically, if you're scraping content, which a lot of the aggregator websites did do, it's unoriginal content. You're not providing anything new to the search. If anything, you're actually costing Google. And what I mean by that is, if, say, for example, myself and 10 other websites all have original content, right, in one way, shape, or form, and you yourself come along as a aggregator website and you just scrape all 10 of our websites and you can combine all of our content onto one page, then it's not original content. So again, I can see why they have used or essentially de-indexed a load of scaled content abused websites, so that's totally fine. Now, one thing I'd also want to mention here is, no matter how it's created, so it doesn't matter if you're manually writing the content or if you're using AI, it doesn't matter how it's been created, they will de-index the website. And there has been tweets that I will try to find of people saying that, hey, my website was written by human editors, or human content writers, should I say, and it's been de-indexed. So there's been a lot of AI or low quality AI sites that have been hit, aggregator websites that have been hit, and also human written content websites that have also been hit. This new policy builds on our previous spam policy about automatically generated content, ensuring that we can take action on scaled content abuse as needed, no matter whether content is produced through automation, human efforts, or some combination of human and automated process. So again, going back to what I was saying before, it doesn't matter if AI has generated the content or if it has been human written content. They've both been hit, basically. So just bear that in mind. If you are mass producing low quality content, then you will be at risk. You might not have been de-indexed just now, but you might get de-indexed in the near future. So, is this a change in how Google views AI content in terms of spam? Our long-lasting spam policy has been that the use of automation, including generative AI, is spam if the purpose of manipulating search rankings and search results. The updated policy is the same spirit of our previous policy and based on the same principle. It's been expanded to account for more sophisticated scaled content creation methods where it isn't always clear whether low quality content was created purely through automation. Now, one thing that I would like to mention as well is part of the Google algorithm is topical authority, right? So if you have, let's say, 100 pages talking about a certain subject, let's say it's running shoes, and your competitor has 2,000 articles in comparison to your 100, then they have topical authority. Now, what this is saying is, if you are mass producing loads of content, whether it's spun content, whether it's AI content, whether it's human written content, and it's just low quality content, then you do have the chance of getting hit. And that's because you're not actually providing any value to the SERP. So going back to what I was saying before, why does your website deserve to rank if it is saying the exact same thing as your 10 competitors? You're not bringing any value to the SERP. Whereas if, say, for example, you're doing certain methods like content gain, or sorry, information gain, and let's say that there's a new 50-inch television that's been released by LG, and you are the first person to actually talk about that television, then Google will prefer your website because you're bringing something fresh and something new to the actual search engine page. So just bear that in mind when you guys are scaling out your websites. So what is the difference from the old what's the difference from the old policy against automatically generated content and the updated policy against scaled abuse? Our new policy is meant to help people focus more clearly on the idea that producing content at scale is abusive if done for the purpose of manipulating search rankings, and that this applies whether automation or humans are involved. So again, going back to what I was saying before, doesn't matter if it's AI, it doesn't matter if you've got Stephen Hawking writing your articles, if you're mass producing articles to essentially gain the algorithm, to gain topical authority, and it's not providing any value to the user, then it's not looking good. So site reputation abuse, this is essentially targeting parasites. So we'll see what happens. One thing that I will like to mention, that we are live as of the 6th of March 2025. This is site reputation abuse. One thing that it is stating is that this doesn't roll out until May 5th. Now, basically what they have done here is, obviously, you did have the likes of Outlook India, Deccan and Herald, LinkedIn Pulse, all of these websites that were getting abused for parasite SEO. Now, it looks like they have essentially given a 2-month, I believe it's about 2-month wait list until this gets rolled out, the site reputation abuse. And my guess as of right now, and I will obviously do a follow-up video on this update as it rolls out and stuff, but it looks like Google has essentially given like a 2-month period for those websites to essentially mark down any articles as sponsored articles and stuff. So it kind of looks like that that Google has kind of given a lifeline to websites like LinkedIn Pulse, like Outlook India, Deccan and Herald. There was another one in Miami as well. So they do have a little bit more of a time frame for parasite SEO to essentially get penalized, for example. So if we actually read this, site reputation is when third-party pages are published with little or no first-party oversight or involvement, where the purpose is to manipulate search rankings by taking advantage of the first-party site's ranking signals. So again, you're essentially piggybacking off of Outlook India's domain authority and writing an article to do with something that, like a niche that you are in. Obviously, everybody knows what parasite SEO is. So again, it looks like they have started to do some page by page level de-rankings. So such third-party pages include sponsored, advertising, partner, or third-party pages that are typically independent of a host's site's main purpose or produced without close oversight or involvement of the host site and provide little to no value to users. So again, parasite SEO looks like they are doing something about it. May 5th is when they are actually rolling it out. What ranking signals does a site have? Our core site systems are primarily designed to work on page level using a variety of signals and systems. To understand how to rank individual pages, we do have site-wide signals that are also considered. Please note that some third-party services provide reputation or authority scores for sites. These don't correspond to any of Google's own signals nor come from Google. So again, I've stated this before, domain authority, DR, they're all made up metrics. Ahrefs is like, it's a made up metric that Google or the Ahrefs uses. It's not something that Google uses. There are a lot of websites that I actually have pulled up here that are very high in DR. and they have been penalized after the latest core algorithm update. So just bear that in mind. I know that some people in the past have asked me, hey Kaz, my website is a DR 80 plus and it's been penalized. Unfortunately, Google doesn't look at DR. They also have their own ranking system, as they have mentioned here. So don't just base it off of DR and domain authority and what third-party metric tools you're using that are telling you. So just bear that in mind. My site has a coupon area that we produced in a part by working with a third party. Is this considered spam? Many publications host coupons for their readers. If the publication is actively involved in production of the coupon area, there's no need to block this content from Google search. Readers should clearly understand how the publication sources its coupons and how it works to ensure the coupons provide value to readers. So this is something new. Obviously, this would have been an issue with websites that provide coupons to certain products. I know that this is pretty big in the UK. I haven't seen this as much in the US, but again, don't quote me on that because there are coupon sites that are all over the world. But this is more so for coupon sites. Our goal with our new policies and our constant improvements to our spam fighting systems is not just to ensure that users get great, helpful content, it's also to ensure those producing helpful content are succeeding in search ahead of those who engage in spam. So again, this looks like they are trying to combat against topical authority and building out in a spammy way. Because again, if, say for example, you needed 500 articles to compete, somebody could very quickly spin up 1,000 articles in an afternoon and essentially outrank you. So just bear that in mind. And again, it doesn't matter if it was human written content or if it was AI, because they have mentioned it a lot of times in this article. So now that we've took a look at the March 2024 core update and the new spam policies that they have also announced, let's take a look at Twitter, and we'll look at a few websites that have actually been hit. So equityatlas.org, they were getting 4 million to now they have 4,900,000. I don't know how this is in Spanish, this tweet, but it was a list of websites that have actually been hit. And when I say that these websites have been hit, if we take a look at site colon, they've been completely de-indexed. Now, some of these websites, you will take a look at it and you're like, yeah, I understand why it's been hit. Like, for example, this website, this is fresherslive.com. Massive AI website, as you can see here, 1 day ago, 2 days ago, 2 days ago, 2 days ago, 1, 1, 2, 2. 14 hours, 15 hours, 50. Like they're just mass producing absolute spam. And if you actually take a look at some of their articles, so for example, is Mae Jemison still alive? You don't actually get the answer. So if from a user intent point of view, if you think somebody's searched is Mae Jemison still alive, they're going to want to know if she's alive or dead, right? And I still don't have the answer. They're talking about Mae Jemison, the first African-American woman in space, is still alive at 67. An engineer, physician, former NASA astronaut, blah, 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 blah. And again, just a repeated subheading, who is Mae Jemison? They've mentioned that she was born in October 17th like 4 or 5 times now, which is like mentioned here. Yeah, so I mean, you look at the content and it's just not great at all. And again, like it's not providing anything of like value. Now, one thing that I would say about this website, if, say, for example, Mae Jemison did die, hopefully she doesn't, hopefully she lives like so on, but if she did die and they then decided to publish an article on Mae Jemison, that would be information gain. But right now, she's not dead. So they're just essentially trying to scale out as many articles and try to get as many people to scroll through as many of these ads as possible. That's why they've essentially built this page. It's not like something like, I'm not dying to come back to fresherslive.com anytime soon. So just bear that in mind when you guys are scaling out content. Unlock more content. Right, brilliant. So I need to watch a short ad to be able to access the website for another 12 hours. So, right, I'm not going to go visit that website anymore. But that's one of the websites. Obviously, equityatlas.org is another website. This is Filmy Feed. So again, like, there's nothing of value in any of these pages. So, like, for example, I'm looking at some of these. What exactly is folk horror? Delving into plots of cults. So what this website owner has done is they've essentially just found a load of low keyword difficulty pages, and they've just written a load of articles about them. Now, it's not really providing any value, to say the least. And again, I'm getting spammed by a load of ads. I don't trust this website at all, so I can see why this website again has been de-indexed. Let's just double check this. Yep. 11 celebrities who overcame addiction. What is this? So again, the quality of some of these websites hasn't been great at all. We do have a couple questions. Carl, hi. Has there been a Google announcement or something? Yes, there has. The content on Fresher Live wasn't that bad, just the walls of text and a few transition phrases. Some far from obvious examples in that list might have been an expired domain. So Fresher Live was the website that essentially timed me out, if I remember correctly. Freshers Live, this website here. Again, it's not bringing anything of value to the website. Like, is Mae Jemison still alive? Yes, she is. You didn't need to search that. You didn't need to build a dedicated page for it, to basically try and attract more clicks to your website. I hate this website because it's going to get me to watch a short ad. But to answer your question, I would disagree. Like, the content itself, how it's written, might be brilliant content, right? Don't get me wrong. The content, again, I've not looked at it, but the content, okay, let's say it's 10 out of 10. But did they need to write an article on Fresher May or whatever her name was? Is she still alive? No, because she is still alive. Like, why do you need to write an article? You're clearly doing it to try and engage more clicks onto your website. So that's why that website's been hit. Again, a lot of these websites are going after a lot of celebrity-related stuff. So I'm seeing a lot of like celebrity stuff on this website. Again, they're just trying to gain as much clicks. They're trying to essentially get clickbaity articles so people view their ads. Again, it's not great, this website, even from a trust and an EEAT point of view. I don't trust this website. If this website started talking about, I don't know, financial advice or anything like that, I'd just click off. Do not trust this website at all. I don't even know who's written the article. So if it did start writing about YMYL, or if it started to talk about potentially fitness advice or anything like that, I'd steer clear from that website. News on zip.com. Again, this kind of looks like an Outlook India. But again, like a lot of these pages, box office collection day 35. Again, it's just very much talking about like news related stuff, and it's just trying to gain as much clicks as it possibly can through to the website. but like, again, the quality of these websites ain't great at all. Like, I'm looking at some of these websites and I'm like, I can understand why Google's been hit, or why these websites have been hit by Google, should I say. One thing to bear in mind as well is it was actually in the bottom of this article. So our goal with our new policies and our constant improvements to our spam fighting systems is not to ensure that users get helpful content, it's also to ensure those producing helpful content are succeeding in search ahead of those who engage in spam. I'm looking at a lot of these websites and they've just engaged in spam, and okay, yes, short term wise, it might have worked. They might have been able to outrank your niche website, for example, but the quality just isn't that great. They've basically just used topical authority, and they've been able to scale out loads of content, whether it is with AI, whether it's with human actual content writers, and they've just scaled the website that way. So from I think Google have got it right. If I'm being 100% honest, this update so far from the websites that I've analyzed in this video, I think that they have got it right. And again, you look at this website here, Samantha Segigoros, height, weight, net worth, age, birthday, Wikipedia, who, Instagram, biography. Like, what is that H1? So again, this is another website that got de-indexed, and I can totally understand why. Like, for example, if you were to put yourself in the picture of, okay, you've got a website talking about celebrities, and you have got the best content there is on about that celebrity. Let's say it's about Tom Cruise, for example, and this website's outranking you, you would be really annoyed about this, because all they've done is they've just scaled out topical authority, and that's literally it. So I think from this first video, Google has done it right. Again, I might change my mind in a follow-up video, but as of right now, I think that the websites that I've currently seen that have been de-indexed, they probably did deserve to get de-indexed. Like some of the websites that you go on and you get displayed by 2 million ads, and you've not even been able to see your answer. So yeah. So one last question, definitely not brilliant, but the most obvious of the AI built sites I've seen have been hammered. Yeah, so there has been a lot of websites that have been hammered, like some of these. Make sure, by the way, to check out Bruno D'Angelo on Twitter. He has done a really good breakdown of some websites that I didn't even look at just yet. But he has got a list of websites. So if you do want to take a look at commonality of websites, potentially you might be worried about some websites that you might have that might be following some of the similar-ish patterns, bear that in mind. And as always, if you guys do want consultation for your website, maybe you have been hit with a core algorithm update or a helpful content update, make sure to check out kazradash.com, and you can fill in the form, hire me out for consultancy. We have been seeing some really good results from the previous core algorithm update until now, where we have been able to recover some websites. So yeah, that has been my video on the March 2024 core update. If you guys do have any questions, make certain to check out or to leave a comment in the description, and I will reply back to every single one.